Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Friday, September 8th of 2023. I appreciate you all joining me in this video. Hopefully, that you guys are having a lovely week. Did you check out the September Tarot report that I did for all 12 signs? It has been completed. It is done. Be sure to check that out by clicking the live tab on my YouTube page. In the description below, you will see timestamps for all 12 signs. So you can look up for your sun, moon, rising, Mars, Venus, or you can look up for your friends and your loved ones and stuff like that. Or the guy or girl that you like. I know how y'all be doing. You can look up for them as well. Be sure to check that out. Had a lot of fun. A lot of good things came out of that. So here we are. We're at Friday. We are at the end of the week. And it's interesting, looking at the astrology, there's not really a whole lot going on. It's mostly the moon that's making aspects. You gotta remember the moon moves fast, so it makes multiple aspects just about every day. And then, of course, we do have the sun, which is in trine to Jupiter today as well. It'll be in trine to Jupiter pretty much all throughout the day, although it will come off the exact trine to it pretty early in the day. Like if you're on the West Coast, this is probably like in like the middle of your night, middle of sleeping, unless you happen to be awake. So we have those energies. Now, of course, starting around 6:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to see the moon pretty much dead trine over to Saturn retrograde, which is in Pisces. And this is going to be interesting because it's going to be at a rather emotional degree, being that it's here at 2 degrees, which is the number ruled by the moon, right? Ruled by Cancer. And the moon is in its home sign now. So definitely feeling good, feeling more positive. It will oppose Pluto, of course, here, but at the very least, the moon is in a place where it feels comfortable, right? So emotionally today, we can definitely feel a little bit more comfortable. Even the trine over to Saturn, it is a positive aspect, especially since the moon is at home here and Saturn is retrograde. Saturn just wants to, of course, give some structure to maybe the dreams that we're wanting to bring forward and stuff. So that's the only thing about this. But this is a good time to kind of just, definitely feel things out. It's definitely really important to make sure that your home life, like your sanctuary, it's a good time to kind of just tap into that, kind of meditate, clean your space, if you will. Just kind of work on like your home and your sanctuary and stuff like that. So, you know, like I said, pretty positive for the most part. But like I said, this is going to happen really early in the day. By the time that most of you guys probably watch this, the moon will already be at like 3 or 4 degrees of Cancer. So it'll be coming off of the trine. You'll still kind of feel it, but said this is pretty positive. Normally, the moon and Saturn, they rule opposite energies. The moon ruling Cancer, Saturn ruling Capricorn, and this is going to be it pretty, like I said, nice little way to start the day, if you will. I suppose the challenge here will be is that if there are certain dreams that you want to definitely move forward, but you have difficulty kind of giving structure to your dreams, then that may make you feel a little bit off of sorts, right? Mainly also because the moon will be coming into a square with Mars later on today. So now let's go ahead and just take a look at that. You're going to see this Mars here coming to 7 degrees, right? And this is going to be happening around 3:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to see this energy where you have the moon, they can square over to Mars, both at 7 degrees, right? And you'll see it more exact actually an hour later, around 4:36. You'll see it more exact. And 7 is the number of Pisces, which is where Saturn was. So the moon just got done trining over to Saturn, and then it's going to square Mars. This energy right here, Mars, of course, in its detriment in Libra, not really feeling the strongest. So the moon will definitely win this square. But we also have to remind ourselves, like, what? If we are looking for some sort of balance in our life and harmony, we have to kind of look at our actions and what we're taking and making sure that things do align with how we truly authentically feel. And if we're trying to really bring something forward via this Saturn and Pisces and bring structure to something, there's this element here where it definitely has to be more spiritual in nature, being that it's 7 degrees and this is the number of Neptune, this is the number of Pisces. It has to be more spiritual in nature. It's actually, and it's interesting too, because it's actually really close to the 8th degree, and Neptune is at 2 plus 6, which equals 8. So there is an 8 is Saturn energy. So there's almost this element too where we have to make like a decision and commit to our path, if you will. And that if we don't, how can you expect anything to really come forward if you aren't really committed to your path? So today might be a day where really ask, where Spirit will ask you, like, well, are you committed? Are you really willing to do the work? Are you really willing to kind of put yourself out there? Are you willing to make the sacrifices and the compromises? Or are you just going to try and bang your head on the wall and trying to just ram your way through like Aries normally would? Or are you going to try and strike some type of harmony and balance? Like I say, you don't want to get overly political or overly PC about things. You don't want to make bad deals. I talked about that in I can't remember who's. I think it was Libras. I talked about that in Libra's tarot report. How they can have a tendency to make bad deals because they're trying to appease everyone. So with the moon squaring Mars, this is definitely where it's like if you get like too emotionally like riled up and too caught up, you can make some bad deals here. Because you're just trying to feel good. You're just trying to feel better. You're trying to feel comfortable. You definitely don't want to get caught up where you're making bad deals, especially in this space where it's at 7 degrees, damn near 8. So it's like spirituality, and there's of course there's that hint on that cusp of like the Capricornian energy, the Saturn energy, as far as like making decisions and actually committing to something, and it's a bit of a challenging aspect here with this moon square Mars. But like I said, the moon's gonna win this one. Like if we just take a look at just even the dignities himself, you know what I mean? Like look at this. You got, oh my gosh, you got plus 11, plus 9, plus 6, plus 5, plus 3, plus 1, minus 10. Like Mars is going to get bodied by the moon. Going to get absolutely bodied by the moon. Like it's not even going to be a contest. Like, so that's the thing about this, especially with the moon in Cancer. It's like there's so much positive energy here, but at the same time, it's not necessarily going to feel like it because the only planet that's moving fast is not aspected very well. It's not doing so hot. So it's like, it's almost like you got it, everything's good, but you still feel like you're grasping for straws, if you will. It's such a weird energy. It really is. And because there's not a lot of exact things happening, because you have a lot of, like just bring it back up. Because you have because you have so many planets that are retrograde and so many planets are just not really moving. Like Venus is direct, but she's not really moving that fast. Juno's here meeting up, which is going to give us like some power and stuff, which is cool. But like I said, Jupiter is pretty much like Jupiter's retrograde. You have Uranus is retrograde, Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto, Mercury. Like the only planets that are really moving, the only planet that's really moving is Mars. You don't count the sun, you don't count the moon. But it's like this, what we have to rely on right now for some sense of like energy, or some sense of like, okay, where is it the deeper reserve? Where can I go to in my life to try and get something, some type of sustenance, right? Because everything else is turned inward. Where can I go in my life to actually get something? It's the Mars in Libra, which is not in its strongest energy. It's not strong. So this is like, this is like, this is a weird example, but this is like when all your Pokemon are injured and you're down to like your last one, and it's the one that you haven't trained that well. Like maybe it's like 10 levels below everything else. But maybe that Pokemon has a very vital spirit. And once, even though they may be like the weakest one, or maybe this is like you're going to like your bench almost too. Like maybe like you have to kind of almost go outside of like your normal rotation of 6 Pokemon. Maybe this is this Pokemon that you caught like, you know, several gyms back and you kind of use them on your team, but then they got kicked off the team and stuff like that. But now it's like maybe you've come up against a challenge and you actually need to rely on this Pokemon now because it's the only Pokemon that has a type advantage against a roadblock that you have. Well, that's the thing about this. You're going to pull that Pokemon out, and they're going to be 10, 15, 20 levels lower than the rest of your team and against whatever trainers or whatever roadblock it is. So now you got to train that Pokemon up and grind. And that's the thing. This is a grinding out kind of energy. You got to grind it out, and grinding isn't necessarily fun. And with the Moon in Cancer that wants to just feel comfortable and secure, because grinding it out energy is not really going to feel the most fun. I'm just going to be real with you. Like I said, but still, there's some positive energy. You saw those essential dignities. You saw the scores. Mars was at -10 because it's just bad. But everything else was groovy, was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to get, come by the end of the day, you're going to see that moon, which is going to make the sextile over to Mercury. So this is positive, right? Being that's at 11 degrees, this is, I think 11 is like the number of Virgo energy. So yeah, so you have like this pure aspect of this Virgo energy that's coming through. This may be like some sort of 11-11 kind of moment. Maybe pay attention around that. In fact, I almost want to I wonder what it would be like at 11-11 if I don't think it'll be quite. Let's just for shits and giggles, right? 11-11. Damn, pretty close. 11-17 and 11-09 at 11-11. I mean, they're pretty close. They're only off by 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course you have a Mars that's now at 8 degrees. So I think this, maybe I'm grasping for straws interpreting this astrology because, like I said, because since there's not really a whole lot moving forward, there's not really a whole lot of energy that's moving. It's like this forecast is kind of a good example. We can be definitely we can be looking for just something right now, something to invigorate us, something to inspire us, something to motivate us, something to give us some sort of inclination that something is moving forward, despite the craziness that we're experiencing, despite the stories that are about to start coming out, despite the stories that are coming out. There can definitely be this feeling of like feeling just numb to everything that's coming through. And we're just like grasping, like, all right, is there something here? What is there something that's going to drop? Is there something here? Now, I think it's interesting too. The affirmation for the day that I put, or the meditation I put for today, is why be unhappy about something if you can do something about it? And the second part is if nothing can be done, what does being happy help? And I think, when I was reading like the ones on this page and I was trying to pick to see which one, that's the one that kind of jumped out to me. It didn't jump out immediately to me. So I think that's sort of like a representation of like, I think things are hiding in plain sight, but they may not just jump out to you like the solutions and stuff. But I think that's very true. If you can do something about a situation that you may be unhappy about, do something about it. If you can't do anything about it, does being unhappy actually do anything, or does it just drag down your energy? If you legitimately can't do anything about a situation, being unhappy is just being unhappy. It doesn't actually accomplish anything in this situation. It just kind of keeps you there. It kind of keeps you stuck. It kind of keeps you in this space of not being able to move forward. If you can do something about it, cool. Do something about it. I think this whole month is about finding the win-wins, you know, and finding the wins in the small areas. Shoot, like, and finding the appreciation and gratitude in the small things. So in a time where everything's turned off and we're trying to find some sense of like, yo, come on, like do something. It's like I think that's kind of what we're all doing. Is like we want things to move, but we're kind of poking at our lives like, yo, do something. Do something. Right? And life's like, well, I'm kind of do something, but we got a Mars and Libra that's just way out of its league here. It's like literally trying to take it's oh my gosh, dude. Like it's like trying to take a fish and trying to teach it how to climb. And then like being upset at the fish for not knowing how to climb a tree. It's a fucking fish. And that's kind of how life is right now. So it's like try don't be so hard on yourself right now. I think that's really what this comes down to. Especially if you're attempting to do something pretty fucking awesome and pretty fucking big. Like, don't expect yourself to get it overnight. And don't expect other people to kind of get things overnight. It's like if you judge yourself, if you judge your fish by its ability to climb a tree, then you're gonna pass some pretty harsh judgments on that fish. But that fish wasn't built to climb a tree. Okay? Unless it's like a Pisces, then they'll probably figure it out. But like that's just what this energy is right now. It's like, there's a lot of positive energy, but a lot of energy that is stuck. So that means it's like with all this positive energy, but a lot of it's retrograde. That means that the inner world is lighting up. That means that the inner world, there's a lot of positivity there. That means that there's a lot of growth, expansion on the inner world, right? So why be unhappy about something if you can do if you could do something about it, do something about it, right? If you can't do something about it, why be unhappy about it? Just chill out, relax, keep it moving. It's really quite that simple. It doesn't feel simple, it doesn't seem simple, but it really is that simple. So let's go ahead and get into the cards. It's probably going to be, like I said, one of the. Oh, not yet. I almost ended the recording. Oops. This is probably going to be one of the shorter astrology forecasts, just because, like I said, there's not really a whole lot going on here. Um, Not really. I think today will offer us an opportunity this weekend to kind of, just kind of like feel a little bit better about things too. And maybe just don't take everything so seriously. Things will move forward, things will change. So we're a little over halfway through this Mercury retrograde. So things are going to start to click. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So just, you know, chill out, relax. You got this. It is Friday, so maybe go out with some friends. Don't get too crazy, unless you want to get crazy and stuff like that. But you saw what happened at Burning Man or Drowning Man, is what they were calling it. So it's like, just take some time, chill out, relax. You know what I'm saying, and try not to get so like tied up into figuring everything out right now because that's just going to drive you insane if you try and figure everything out right now. Just the things that you do know, the things that you can do, the things that you know that you can affect, focus on that. And focus on the blessings too. All right. Card wise. Yep, we got this card again. We got the card of innocence. The card of innocence. I really like this card. I'm trying to get it to actually like focus a little bit with that lights there. We got the card of innocence. This is the Sun card too. We also have the Change card, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, of two major arcana cards. And this is going to be followed by the card of Sharing. I want to say this is the Queen of Wands in this deck. The Queen of Wands in this deck, yeah. So in order to get out of this perpetual loop where you feel like things are not changing and you feel like you're just running on a hamster wheel, in order to get out of this, you have to come back into your innocence. You had to come back, and you can do this at any age. You see, this is an older, sagely man, right? Sagely man, right? So when you come back into your innocence and you treat life, if you treat life like just see the beauty in life. I think that's what it comes down to. It's like seeing the magic in life again, and then sharing those gifts with the world, sharing that love with the world and those around you. That's what this comes down to. I think this Friday will be a great time to, um, if you can, maybe get together with some family and some friends, break bread. You know what I'm saying, and just appreciate life. Go over the things that you appreciate about each other, or just have a good time. I think that this whole weekend will be really good for that, because we can get so caught up on all the things and facets of life that we can't control. Um, that it can kind of get us down. We can get pretty negative, and we can get depressed about it, and get anxious about the future, and worry about what's going to happen. But it's like, we got to like slow down and smell the roses, and just like appreciate life. If you can pay attention to some of the smaller details. The sun is still in Virgo, right? So it's like great time, like if you can go outside and just pay attention to some of the small details. Listen to the birds chirp, watch the birds, watch the bees. You know what I'm saying? Just examine just examine nature. See what you find. You'll find some really cool things in nature if you just take time to slow down and actually listen. Kind of open up your eyes, open up your heart, see what's there. Like I said, share that gift with the world. Share the love. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more than enough to go around. There's no lack here. There's no lack. The only lack that's here is if you doubt your own abilities and you doubt your own value and your own worth. But there's no lack here. So it's like this is a time where we can kind of get off the hamster wheel, so we're not feeling like we're just running around in circles. I got two cards here. So I have the card of the first light. So begin a new cycle. So this is great. Whatever cycle that you feel like you're stuck in that has you not changing, beginning a new cycle. Sometimes, and it may feel a little bit slow, and that's okay. So just appreciate the speed at which things are happening. And grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. I can't say it any better than that. I've been saying that gratitude is one of the biggest things that I talk about on this channel, and I preach it because I really feel like just having gratitude and recognizing those things is super, super valuable. And I think, with beginning this new cycle, it does feel like we're going to finally be coming off the hamster wheel. And maybe what we kind of feel a bit today with some of these energies is maybe we feel a little bit of that delirium and that, because I talked about that earlier this week too. A little bit of dizziness, a little bit of delirium because we got off the ride, and now we can finally get back onto a new cycle and a new path. So through gratitude, joy expands. I think this will be a very positive day to just appreciate life. And that's how you get through it. Just appreciate life. So that is going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Friday. I will see you guys on the weekend astrology forecast. Take care, stay blessed. Peace.